Good morning. Welcome. Day one of the Feelings Challenge. Thanks for popping on. So I thought I would start off each of these videos this week with how I'm feeling. It's Monday morning, and I am feeling very tired. Up early, got a lot going on this week. Now, when I say I'm feeling tired isn't actually a feeling, it's a state. So if when I check in with myself and I ask myself, how am I feeling right now? And I start to get things like tired, then what I do is I up the level of self-inquiry and go, okay, put the tiredness aside. How am I feeling? And so this morning I'm feeling quite happy. I had a really lovely weekend, and so I'm feeling quite content and happy in regards to just coming off a fantastic weekend. It's a bit of a mixed bag this morning. It's not just feeling that. I've also got a massive weekend. I'm like, how on earth am I going to get everything done that I want to get done this week? So there's also a little mix of oh shit. So a little bit of concern. I think I wouldn't say anxiety. It's certainly not at that point. I might get to that a little bit later in the week, depending on how we go with everything. So I always like to start with a why on these challenges. Why the hell would I choose feelings for something to focus on? And over the years of personal development and what everything really comes down to, like all these great levels of questioning, self-reflection, contemplation, all these clearing and integrations of parts of ourselves, I find ultimately it always comes down to improving on how I'm feeling. So, and becoming greater, develop a better, it's not the right word, a more connected relationship with my feelings, and becoming more aware of them, and paying more attention to them, and actually using them as a compass to navigate life and navigate decisions. So ultimately, why feeling feelings is so critical in the Joyflu side of things, in the work that I do, in the messages that I share, is that ultimately by enhancing our ability to feel our feelings, we create a more richer and more fulfilling life for ourselves. And this happens unconsciously, whether we're aware of it and doing that level of self-inquiry or not. If we reflect on anything that we do, anything, thoughts, behaviors, actions, okay, it'll come down to, it'll actually be that we want to change how we feel in that moment. Okay, why did I eat that thing? It made me feel good. I felt happier. Why did I work my butt off to accomplish a particular task? Okay, either it's to enhance a feeling or it's to avoid a feeling. Okay, and sometimes they can be the same thing. So with gratitude, which I've already focused on, there's a big focus on feeling the gratitude. with the other challenge, or is it being in my edge, stepping outside my comfort zone? So feeling the unpleasant feelings and yet doing them anyway, and then feeling the awesome sense of accomplishment that then happens when we grow and evolve ourselves through doing that. Okay, so with everything that I do, all roads lead back to feelings. Okay, so it's time to really focus on what matters, and that is feeling. So when we start to enhance our relationship with our feelings, some really cool things start to happen. Okay, quite often, again, whether we're aware of it or not, quite often we're looking to avoid feeling particular ways. Okay, and there's lots of ways of doing that: repressing and rejecting and denying, distracting is the big one from our feelings. Okay, is there something a bit unpleasant there that I am looking to avoid? So I'm going to go into more about what feelings are over the next few days, but ultimately the why about the feelings is that it creates ultimately everything that we want comes back to feelings. We want to feel good. We want to have pleasant feelings more so than unpleasant. Okay. And what happens is when we strengthen our relationship with all the feelings, pleasant and unpleasant, is that creates so many different things: confidence, resiliency. It's a big topic that I like to talk to. We become more invincible and, in a way, indestructible, because if I can be okay with all the feelings that come up and learn to work with them, then it doesn't matter whatever happens externally, because I know I can manage anything that comes up in myself. And that way, if I know that, yes, I can be triggered and upset and really thrown into some unpleasant situations, I know I've got my back, because I know I can handle any of the internal things that come up as a result of those circumstances. Okay. When I start examining why we block emotions or avoid them, is that quite often we fear that, thank you, quite often we fear that we can't ever get out of those emotions. Like if I open up that can of worms of this feeling that I've been repressing, perhaps a lifetime, more often than not, that I won't survive it. Okay, so we become really resilient when we realize that we can throw ourselves, immerse ourselves, get to know those feelings, and we will come out the other side always. Okay, it's never permanent. Feelings and emotions, energy and motion, they're constantly moving and changing and shifting. And what happens is the closer we examine them, the closer we open ourselves up to actually feeling them fully, is that they shift really quickly. The energy transmits around them really fast. So, yeah. I can't articulate it any more than that. It's really powerful when we open ourselves up to that. When we numb, avoid, deny, reject, disassociate from our feelings, is that they don't go away. They get repressed, they get stored in the body, and they'll come out in other ways, whether that be in illness or disease. If you break down the word disease, dis-ease. Okay, so a unease feeling, disease body, feeling in the body. Okay, so for today, all I suggest is that we start to contemplate, what is my relationships What is my relationship? What is my connection to my feelings? Do I contemplate and actually consider how I feel in a moment and use that to navigate my decision making and how I show up and play up in the world? I haven't got this down pat 100%, guys. A big thing that sort of I've been really playing with over the last few weeks is becoming really aware of when I feel compelled to grab my phone and look at social media, or when I feel compelled to go to the kitchen and grab something to eat, or I've already eaten yet I'm still reaching over and grabbing something to eat. Actually taking pause and feeling into, what am I really hungry for? Or is there a feeling there that I'm looking to avoid? And what actually happens is quite often these things are really subtle. Okay, they're not always the big sledgehammer emotions that come through. Sometimes they are too. So just really being able to fine tune our ability to feel the sensations, okay, and actually allowing it, whether it's pleasant or unpleasant, instead of reaching for various distractions that are preventing us from looking at that. Particularly with food, that's a big one. A good question that we can ask ourselves is, well, what am I really hungry for? Okay, and actually feel into what is it that I'm really desiring, or undesiring, what I'm looking to move away from, with examining that. So yeah, for me, my journey with feelings and emotions has only been in the last couple of years, and I know prior to that I was really shut down to exploring my emotions, understanding my feelings. I would have certain behaviors play out and not really have an understanding of where that was coming from. So there might be blow-ups of emotions and stress and sadness and anxiety, and I wouldn't know where that was coming from. Okay, and that took me down a particular avenue of counselling and psychology, just sort of unpack that and flesh out what was going on there. Okay, these days my relationships to feelings and emotions are like it's so different, so different. So I have a great level of self-inquiry. I don't run away from emotions consciously. Okay, if I know that there's a feeling there, I will work with it immediately. I'm very good at even being able to sit with highly triggering situations when it's brought a lot of stuff up. I can sit with that and process that in the moment while fully functioning. I might be in a meeting or running a training and I'm doing it then and there in the moment, and people won't really have any idea that that's actually even going on. Now, so my relationship with feelings and emotions has evolved radically over the last few years. And I would say it has made my life so much more richer and more fulfilling as a result. Now, all of this is on a continuum, okay? I know that I can have an even more richer and more fulfilling life with continuing to involve and unpack and develop a better relationship with my feelings. Hence, I am totally dedicated to this work for myself. And it actually makes me really excited because I have quite a lot of knowledge about where I am open to my feelings and emotions, but also still where I'm really shut down and numb and not able to feel things. Okay, so I know that there's still worlds of enhancing this for myself. Yeah. All right, so day one. What is your relationship to your feelings? How aware of them are you? Do you acknowledge them? And do you consult your feelings when you're actually making conscious decisions? So remembering that there's what we're conscious of and also there's what we're not aware of. and just sort of feeling into that. Okay. Have a great Monday. I'll be back on tomorrow morning, and I'm really looking forward to this particular challenge week of feeling our feelings.